Countdown Till Christmas is brought to you by Princess Grams. Personalized, magical, musical greetings from your favorite characters. Learn more and send one at princessgrams.com. Can you hear Sasha purring? She also makes chirping sounds. Well, hello. We are glad you're back. We're happy to see you again today. I hope you're as excited as I am to discover what today's ornament is, to sing, and to enjoy our story together. Well, are you excited and ready to see what's inside our Advent calendar for day 5? Since Sasha wants to stay with me, I'm just going to lift out and get it, and I'm not going to show you the calendar today. Oh, look at this. Look at this. You want to see too, Sasha? This is a beautiful blue and green ornament, and it reminds me of the floating lanterns called globos that they have in Argentina on Christmas Eve. And you might have seen something like that if you have seen the Disney movie Tangled, which is about Rapunzel. Well, where do you think we should put our ornament? All right. Now, globos are paper balloons that have a little flame inside, which makes them glow and also fills them up with warm air so that they float into the sky, just like a hot air balloon. The globos fill up the night sky on Christmas Eve. Isn't that beautiful? Well, Argentine people must really love lighting up the night sky because fireworks are also a big part of their Christmas Eve celebrations. And many of these last until morning. Now, I bet you already know how to wish people a Merry Christmas in Spanish. It's just like in the famous song, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad. Now, there are a lot of different accents in the ways that people speak Spanish around the world. But the way that I know how to pronounce this phrase is Feliz Navidad. That's Feliz, Feliz, Feliz Navidad. 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 Feliz Navidad. Very good. And do you know what else I like about Christmas time in Argentina? They keep up the Christmas spirit all the way through Epiphany, or the Three Kings Day, on January 6th. And that's the day when many Argentinian children receive their presents. Now, some children leave their shoes outside the front door to be filled with presents. And they also leave water and hay for the horses of the Magi, or the kings. I think that's very nice and thoughtful indeed. Now, many Argentine families have decorations that include the three kings, usually in a nativity scene or pesebre. Now, speaking of decorations, do you remember the song about decorating that we started learning yesterday? It was called Deck the Halls. And why don't we sing the beginning together, and then we'll learn the second part, okay? So the beginning is, deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. And the new part is, don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. Now, this is quite an old song, and we use some of the words to mean different things nowadays. So the first line, don we now our gay apparel. In that line, don means to put on or to wear. And gay, the older meaning of gay, was cheerful or festive. And then apparel is a word that means clothing. So don we now our gay apparel means let's put on our festive clothing. And then the second line is troll the ancient Yuletide carol. I bet you're familiar with the kind of trolls that come from Scandinavian folk tales, like the ones in the Disney movie Frozen. Maybe you know that one. Well, in this song, troll doesn't mean a person. It's a verb telling us to play or sing the Yuletide carol. And Yuletide is the time of year we're celebrating right now. So, troll the ancient Yuletide carol means to sing holiday songs. So, in part 2 of Deck the Halls, we're going to put on our holiday clothes and sing songs. And why don't we do that right now? So, let's sing the second part 2 times. Ready? Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. Once more. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. Great job. And tomorrow we'll put the 2 parts we've already learned together. But for now, it's time for our story of the day. And today we are continuing yesterday's story, which is called Toinette and the Elves. And that was written by Susan Coolidge. Now, if you don't remember what happened last time, or if you missed the video, I would recommend watching yesterday's video from December 4th, because this is one of my favorite stories, and I really, really think it's good. But I'll just remind you what happened anyway. So Toinette helped an elf who was in trouble, and in exchange for her kindness, the elf agreed to share some fern seeds with her to put in her shoes. This would make her invisible. Elves had just arrived at her house late on Christmas Eve to bring her the fern seed.
Do you still wish to try the experiment of being invisible, Toinette?
Oh, yes, indeed I do.
Very well, so let it be.
As he spoke, he beckoned, and 2 elves, puffing and panting like little men with a heavy load, dragged forward a droll little box about the size of a pumpkin seed. One of them lifted the cover.
Pay the porter, please, ma'am,
he said, giving Toinette's ear a mischievous tweak with his sharp fingers.
Hands off, you bad peascod,
cried Toinette's elf.
This is my girl. She shan't be pinched.
He dealt Peascod a blow with his tiny hand as he spoke, and looked so brave and warlike that he seemed at least an inch taller than he had been before. Toinette admired him very much, and Peascod slunk away with an abashed giggle, muttering that Thistle needn't be so ready with his fist. Thistle, for thus it seemed Toinette's friend was named, dipped his fingers in the box, which was full of fine brown seeds, and shook a handful into each of Toinette's shoes as they stood, toes together, by the bedside.
Now you have your wish, he said, and can go about and do what you like, no one seeing. The charm will end at sunset. Make the most of it while you can. But if you want to end it sooner, shake the seeds from the shoes, and then you are just as usual.
Oh, I shan't want to, protested Toinette. I'm sure I shan't.
Goodbye, said Thistle, with a mocking little laugh. Goodbye, goodbye, replied the other elves in shrill chorus.
They clustered together as if in consultation. Then straight out of the window they flew, like a swarm of gauzy winged bees, and melted into the moonlight. Toinette jumped up and ran to watch them, but the little men were gone. Not a trace of them was to be seen. So she shut the window, went back to bed, and presently, in the midst of her amazed and excited thoughts, fell asleep. She waked in the morning with a queer, doubtful feeling. Had she dreamed, or had it really happened? She put on her best petticoat and laced her blue bodice, for she thought the mother would perhaps take them across the wood to the little chapel for Christmas service. Her long hair smoothed and tied, her shoes trimly fastened, she ran downstairs. The mother was stirring porridge over the fire. Toinette went close to her, but she did not move or turn her head. "How late the children are," she said at last, lifting the boiling pot on the hob. Then she went to the stair-foot and called, "Marc, Jeanton, Pierre, Marie, breakfast is ready, my children. Toinette! But where then is Toinette? She is used to be down long before this." "Toinette isn't upstairs," said Marie from above. "Her door is wide open, and she isn't there." "That is strange," said the mother. "I have been here an hour, and she has not passed this way since." She went to the outer door and called, "Toinette! Toinette!" passing close to Toinette as she did so, and looking straight at her with unseeing eyes. Toinette, half frightened, half pleased, giggled low to herself. She really was invisible then. How strange it seemed, and what fun it was going to be. The children sat down to breakfast, little Jeanton, the youngest, saying grace. The mother distributed the porridge and gave each a spoon, but she looked anxious. "Where can Toinette have gone?" she said to herself. Toinette was conscience pricked. She was half inclined to dispel the charm on the spot. But just then she caught a whisper from Pierre to Marc, which so surprised her as to put the idea out of her head. "Perhaps a wolf has eaten her up, a great big wolf like the Capuchon Rouge, you know. Capuchon Rouge is the French name for Little Red Riding Hood." This was what Pierre said, and Marc answered unfeelingly, "If he has, I shall ask Mother to let me have her room for my own." Poor Toinette, her cheeks burned and her eyes filled with tears at this. Didn't the boys love her a bit? Next she grew angry and longed to box Marc's ears, only she recollected in time that she was invisible. What a bad boy he was, she thought. The smoking porridge reminded her that she was hungry, so brushing away the tears, she slipped a spoon off the table, and whenever she found the chance, dipped it into the bowl for a mouthful. The porridge disappeared rapidly. "I want some more," said Jeanton. "Bless me, how fast you have eaten," said the mother, turning to the bowl. This made Toinette laugh, which shook her spoon, and a drop of the hot mixture fell right on the tip of Marie's nose as she sat with upturned face, waiting for her turn at a second helping. Marie gave a little scream. "What is it?" said the mother. "Hot water, right in my face," sputtered Marie. "Water," cried Marc. "It's porridge." "You spattered with your spoon. Eat more carefully, my child," said the mother, and Toinette laughed again as she heard her. After all, there was some fun in being invisible. The morning went by. Constantly the mother went to the door, and shading her eyes with her hand, looked out in hopes of seeing a little figure come down the wood path, for she thought perhaps the little child had gone to the spring after water and fell asleep there. The children played happily meanwhile. They were used to doing without Toinette and did not seem to miss her, except that now and then baby Jeanton said, "Poor Toinette, gone. Not here, all gone."
Well, what if she has?
Said Mark, at last looking up from the wooden cup he was carving for Marie's doll.
We can play all the better.
Mark was a bold, outspoken boy who always told his mind about things.
If she were here, he went on, she'd only scold and interfere. Toinette almost always scolds. I like to have her go away. It makes it pleasanter.
It is rather pleasanter, admitted Marie. Only, I'd like her to be having a nice time somewhere else.
Bother about Toinette, cried Pierre. Let's play. My godmother has cabbage to sell.
I don't think Toinette had ever felt so unhappy in her life as when she stood by, unseen, and heard the children say these words. She had never meant to be unkind to them, but she was quick-tempered, dreamy, and wrapped up in herself. She did not like being interrupted by them. It put her out, and she spoke sharply and was cross. She had taken it for granted that the others must love her by a sort of right, and the knowledge that they did not grieved her very much. Creeping away, she hid herself in the woods. It was a sparkling day, but the sun did not look so bright as usual. Cuddled down under a rose bush, Toinette sat sobbing as if her heart would break at the recollection of the speeches she had overheard. By and by, a little voice within her woke up and began to make itself audible. All of us know this little voice. We call it conscience. Chanton missed me, she thought. And oh dear, I pushed her away only last night and wouldn't tell her a story. And Marie hoped I was having a pleasant time somewhere. I wish I hadn't slapped Marie last Friday. And I wish I hadn't thrown Mark's ball into the fire that day when I was angry with him. How unkind he was to say that. But I wasn't always kind to him. And once I said that I wished a bear would eat Pierre up. That was because he broke my cup. Oh dear. What a bad girl I've been to them all. But you could be better and kinder if you tried, couldn't you? Said the inward voice. I think you could. And Toinette clasped her hands tight and said out loud, and on that, we're going to have to end the story for today. So next time we will hear the end of Toinette and the Elves, and we'll find out what she decided to do and how her family responded to that. Why don't we end our time today with another Christmas carol? This one is called Angels We Have Heard on High. And if you know it, why don't you sing with me? Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. I'm so glad I got to see you today. I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. That not only encourages me, it also makes a big difference to my channel and helps others find videos they would enjoy too. Wishing you a joyful season and a happy day. I'll see you tomorrow.